The constant development of enemy weaponry provokes the U.S. Department of Defense to invest billions of dollars in new ways of defense. The engineers have recently started modernizing the most powerful nuclear bomb, the B-6113. The Pentagon stated that the decision to create this weapon was made with the main emphasis on the need for the military to modernize its nuclear forces and properly deter the aggression of its competitors.
The 12 program started in 2010. We really started the aircraft compatibility testing in 2013.
The B-6113 will utilize components from previous versions of the B-61, but combine them into something new and innovative, combining modern safety, security, and accuracy features that are currently found in similar projectiles. The bomb's extremely accurate and powerful, and its maximum yield is the equivalent of 360 kilotons of TNT, which is almost 7 times more than the previous version. The explosion of such a projectile is literally mind-blowing, and even Britain has considered buying a few of these bombs. And while we're on the subject of Britain, it's worth mentioning its joint development with the United States called Brimstone 2. The first version of this missile was not poor, but clearly weaker than its counterparts. It was not distinguished by its range, power, or speed, but the Pentagon shared the secrets of how to make a really cool missile.
Brimstone is the world's most advanced anti-armor missile and operation proven in many environments and off many different types of platforms.
The second version has a range of 37 miles, which is 5 times longer than the first version. Another advantage of the Brimstone is its combined guidance system. It doesn't need to specify a target, it finds it on its own. The fighter needs to fly into the enemy's range, launch the Brimstone at maximum range, and fly away, hiding from a retaliatory strike. The projectile will do the rest of the work itself. It's also interesting that these missiles can exchange data in flight. They establish a closed network of information that avoids situations where 2 shots are aimed at the same target. So yes, missiles can communicate too. But the guys from Lockheed Martin took the path of speed. They've been working on hypersonic weapons for a long time and have finally demonstrated their new weapon to us. This is the first hypersonic missile in American history, called Hawk. And as you can see, its main feature is its ultra-high speed. It's claimed that the missile maintains a speed of Mach 10 during flight. In our terms, this is 7,500 miles per hour. There's no missile and no aircraft that moves faster. This means that the Hawk will be able to shoot down absolutely any target and be completely out of reach of interception. It would be great to program a missile to maneuver like the recently released Mutant missile does. It has a special section in the front that can bend up to 45%, which will allow for faster maneuvering. This unique ability to change shape and direction in flight will allow to shoot down even ultra-maneuverable targets such as 5th and future 6th generation fighters. Perhaps the presence of such a missile will put an end to the maneuverability race. What's the point of designing an aircraft with an emphasis on a characteristic that doesn't solve anything? The Mutant was created as part of a project at the Air Force Research Laboratory where maneuverable missiles have been studied for a long time. They've only now managed to get what they wanted. Another missile helped the engineers with this. The AGM-114 Hellfire with a laser guidance system was developed as a universal weapon, taking into account the possibility of its use by various types of military forces. It's considered one of the best anti-tank weapons with high penetration power. It can even destroy fortified bases. You don't have to look far to see that Hellfire was one of the most effective weapons during Operation Desert Storm. After that, its next modernization was launched, during which the missile gained a range of 5 miles and improved laser guidance.
It uses kinetic force and a series of essentially knife blades.
The new module design of the missile and launchers practically removes restrictions on the improvement of the system, so it's only getting more dangerous every year. In simple terms, each Hellfire can be configured to target a specific target. Thus, the missile covers almost the entire range of targets that can be hit. However, the flight speed of 870 miles per hour still limits its potential. For example, the AGM-88 HARM is much better at destroying radar, as it's a truly unique development. It was equipped with the ability to simultaneously avoid radar interference and determine where it's coming from.
We go through a lot of tests to make sure everything's working well.
Moreover, harm sensors are so powerful that it can detect enemy radar through fog, clouds, smoke, and any other obstacles. The maximum launch range of the harm is 93 miles, and its speed is over 1,500 miles per hour. You can launch such a killer tool from bombers, fighters, and even drones. To achieve the best results in military operations, it's best to combine the AGM-88 with other missiles. When the harm destroys the radar and deprives the enemy of visibility, the half-air will have the opportunity to fight with ground vehicles. The mutant maneuverable missile will take on the supposed air targets. At the same time, the military often needs weapons capable of hitting large areas rather than single targets. For this purpose, it's better to use artillery or multiple rocket launchers, which main task is to destroy the enemy with maximum accuracy, speed, and range. There's a king here called ATACMS. This is a huge 13-foot high storm of all ground equipment. Its weight is comparable to that of your car, namely 1.5 tons. The ATACMS is capable of flying 186 miles, and its hit guarantees the complete destruction of a target or even several targets, as there's a version with a cluster warhead. The only frightening thing is the price of the missile, which reaches $1 million per unit. This is perhaps the most expensive missile in the U.S. arsenal at the moment. However, there is a solution that's much cheaper and just as effective. The JDAM is a hinged guidance system that can be mounted on conventional aircraft bombs and make them smart. It was developed by Boeing, which received a grant from the government. The U.S. Navy and Air Force also worked directly on the project, so we can say that this is a national project.
The Joint Direct Attack Munition Extended Range, or JDAM-ER, is a low-cost, long-range precision strike weapon about 20.
The system was developed to expand the scope of ammunition use and improve its accuracy. Such equipment also helps to save money, because there are many old aircraft bombs in service in almost any country. Why should good things be idle? The kit includes a tail unit as well as several additional wings placed in the middle of the projectile and a computer for flight control. Thanks to the feature, the bomb's able to maneuver and change its trajectory, which means it'll be much more difficult to shoot down. The JDAM can be mounted on various aircraft bombs thanks to a convenient mounting system. The main thing is they should weigh between 500 pounds and 2,000 pounds. But the most interesting thing is that in its latest version, the JDAM can transform any projectile into a real cruise missile with a range of 44 miles.
The JDAM-ER employs a deployable wing kit designed and developed at DST.
The price of such equipment is only $21,000. Even if we add about $30,000 for an old aircraft bomb, the price is still extremely low compared to conventional missiles. And don't forget about quantity. For every new bomb in the United States, there are about 5 old ones, which makes the use of JDAM doubly beneficial. From falling bombs to the fastest missiles, and when it comes to speed, the AIM-120 immediately comes to mind. This is an American all-weather guided missile, the name of which means American battering ram, and fully reflects the essence of this weapon. It's designed to destroy air targets and has no warhead. Instead of exploding, it simply crashes into the body of the aircraft at a speed of over 186 miles per hour.
Now, of course, fire control systems are rather complicated and they're rather expensive. And consequently, a great premium was placed by Dr. McLean on keeping the fire control system in the rocket very simple and very inexpensive.
If this missile flew past you, you wouldn't even have time to see it. The theory of modern warfare is increasingly moving away from the concept of infantry and the use of manpower. High-tech missiles are coming to the fore, and to counter them, even more technologically advanced air defense is needed. This missile for China was the secret YJ-21. This is an anti-ship hypersonic missile with impressive characteristics. With an incredible speed of Mach 10, the maneuverability of state-of-the-art interceptors, and the latest guidance system, analogous to the Russian Zircon, it poses a serious threat. Perhaps you've noticed from the previous videos and already know why China is focusing on anti-ship missiles? Leave your opinion in the comments. And that's because China predicts that a future global conflict could take place in the Pacific region with the use of U.S. aircraft carrier groups. Only a missile can destroy an aircraft carrier, and only an air defense system can shoot down a missile. The picture has come together, but can the Iron Dome stop the Chinese YJ-21 missile? Given the declared characteristics, I have my doubts. Then why does the U.S. need the Iron Dome? Let's take it one step at a time. The first combat duty of this system took place 15 years ago, and since then its capabilities have only increased. When the United States purchased the Iron Dome, several of its main characteristics were important to it. First, this system is mobile and can be deployed anywhere in a short time. Mobility in expeditionary warfare on ships and islands is perhaps the main security factor. Secondly, the Iron Dome uses an automated battle management system that allows for a quick and accurate response to threats without significant human intervention. The reaction time from missile detection to interception is several seconds, which is critical to protect against unexpected attacks. We saw this during the recent attacks on Israel. Automation and speed of decision-making are very important for the U.S. military, especially when a hypersonic missile is flying in your direction. In addition, other characteristics are worth mentioning. The system is capable of simultaneously tracking and destroying several enemy missiles flying from different directions. It allows to defend the territory effectively during massive missile attacks. The Iron Dome also uses technology that allows predicting missile trajectories and choosing the optimal moment to intercept them, which minimizes risks to civilian facilities. All these features are not just numbers on paper, but have been tested in combat.
Its goal is to, as much as possible, intercept rockets.
The first use in combat conditions took place in 2011, during the repulsion of a missile attack from Gaza. During this time, the number of enemies increased. Missiles changed, but the developers of the Iron Dome did not stop progressing. Some of the most massive attacks in 2021 and 2023 were supposed to destroy Israel. However, air defense shot down 430 and 580 missiles correspondingly. Hardly any other system can boast of such results.
I would say around 90% of the interceptions we wanted to make, we make, but still there's too many rockets raining down here.
However, what we know about the secret YJ-21 is enough to impress even experienced Iron Dome operators. A photo of a Xi'an H-6N jet bomber with an air-to-air anti-ship missile was posted on Chinese social media. Usually, such images are not published for nothing. Under the guise of information leakage, China is sending a message. We have a new super missile. Try and guess what it is. According to the information available to us, the missile does have outstanding technical characteristics and poses a significant threat to the naval forces of potential opponents. The YJ-21 uses advanced hypersonic glider technology, which allows it to maneuver at high speeds, making it difficult for modern missile defense systems to intercept. The YJ-21 is specially designed to destroy large ships, such as aircraft carriers, and is being actively integrated into the arsenal of the Chinese Navy, which creates additional threats to Taiwan, the Philippines, and even Japan. The Chinese missile, also known as the Eagle Strike 21, has a range of 600 to 900 miles and can reach speeds of up to Mach 10. This is 7,600 miles per hour. The YJ-21 is designed to be launched from Type 055 destroyers, making these ships one of the most powerful in the world. The missile can also be used on coastal missile systems, aircraft, and submarines. It has satellite guidance and is an analog of the Russian Zircon missile, which has proven to be difficult to intercept. In addition, there are rumors of possible strikes against land targets, as Zircon does against civilian targets in Ukraine. The development of the YJ-21 can significantly change the balance of power in the Pacific region, forcing potential adversaries to reconsider their military strategies and air defense measures, which is what the United States is doing. In general, China decided to take a slightly different approach than the United States. Instead of creating super advanced fighters, unmanned systems, or laser weapons, China develops missiles for all occasions. This is due to the fact that the military-industrial sector is much more technologically backward, and there are problems with private initiative producers. Can their missile overcome the Iron Dome? In military conflicts, theoretical predictions often do not coincide with practice at all. If we look carefully at the technical characteristics of the Chinese missile and the Iron Dome, it becomes obvious that the Chinese latest missile is capable of defeating the Israeli-American air defense system. The Iron Dome was developed to combat slower and less maneuverable threats such as short-range missiles and artillery shells. The YJ-21 moves at supersonic speeds and is capable of changing its trajectory, which makes it much more difficult to intercept. The effectiveness of the Iron Dome depends on several factors, including radar location, system response, and interceptor missile capabilities. To combat hypersonic missiles, more powerful radars and faster interceptors with the ability to respond to a missile maneuvering at supersonic speeds are needed. In addition, we don't have any data on a combat encounter or test of the Iron Dome against hypersonic weapons. This may suggest the obvious superiority of the Chinese missile. However, all that glitters is not gold. Developers from Asia often like to exaggerate the capabilities of their weapons in order to please the party elite. This can be seen in airplanes, aircraft carriers, and of course missiles. Another important factor in this confrontation is the successful use of the Iron Dome, which has been proven over the years. Since the US is buying the technology itself and actively modernizing it, I think we'll see the latest American lasers in this system soon, which are capable of stopping even a hypersonic missile at the speed of light. Therefore, it's too early to make any conclusions based on theories. The United States, as a pragmatic country, invests in armaments for a reason, and I would definitely not underestimate the new modernized Iron Dome of the US Navy. Thus, the eternal confrontation between missiles and air defense systems will continue and gain new momentum in the coming years. The most important conclusion we can draw today is that both superpowers are preparing at the highest level for a direct armed conflict in the Pacific region. We've already talked about the air capabilities and the naval component of this confrontation in previous videos, and everything that's happening now with the Iron Dome is another leak of information about the upcoming conflict. Geopolitical games are certainly an interesting topic, but let's get back to the equipment. The technical potential of both countries is almost infinite, but they have radically different visions. Currently, the United States is using the maximum modernization potential of its existing weapons, while China continues to produce more and more secret weapons. The fate of the entire world in the coming decades will depend on which strategy proves to be the best. Making predictions here is a very thankless task, so each of us must draw our own conclusions. We can only hope that our technological progress in military affairs will leap forward so much over the years that it'll simply be irrational for either country to start military action. However, this is a theory, and we'll soon find out what will happen in practice. That's all for today. If you enjoyed this video, please don't be lazy and like it. And if you want to see my videos more often, check your subscription here. Also, I love to chat with viewers in the comments, and I don't see yours there yet, so go ahead. Until next time, be curious and stay tuned.